views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
The Department of Justice recently announced President Trump's decision to rescind the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, the controversial Obama-era executive order that was put into place to protect certain people who came to the United States as children. It also gave them work authorization. But the decision to rescind is short of controversy. We'll discuss this and more on this current edition of Perspectives with yours truly, Daren Jaime.
What's on your mind?
Let 'em know.
What's on your mind? What's on your mind?
Let 'em know. Anything relevant to life, you bring it to the table. Whether you make a move solo or a movement with a stable. No fables, you speak on your decisions. Cause in the long run, it's your voice, your views, your vision. Keeping it real with many messages for you to know. This ain't radio, but DJ runs the show. Entertainment, he rocks it. Politics, he locks it. The host with the most would handle any topic. Don't forget to share your perspective with shines of light. Cause it might make a difference in someone else's life.
Make a difference.
What's your perspective?
Express what's in your heart and your mind. Share your perspective.
What's your perspective?
Well, since 1988, they've been providing legal services to immigrants living in the Bronx. And today, I'm joined by Arturo Lopez, who's the Supervising Attorney for the Immigration Program at BronxWorks. And you're watching Perspectives with yours truly, Daren Jaime. And of course, we invite you to share your perspective with us. Join us any week on the show. And in addition to watching us on the show, check us out on our social networking sites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Daren C. Jaime, the professional page, is for Facebook. And there you can talk about this very important issue of immigration. But we're pleased today to be joined by Arturo Lopez, who shares with us. And Arturo, as you are here in the Bronx, obviously a lot of people in the borough of the Bronx, 1.4 million people to be exact, but thousands are literally falling under DACA. Talk to us about the effect of DACA and the president's decision and what this means for people here in our borough.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me again.
Good to have you back, yeah.
And just to go over those numbers a little bit, there's currently about 800,000 people in the United States that have been issued DACA status. 10,000 of that is here in New York City. There's still somewhere over, in total, 1 million people that are estimated to would have qualified for DACA. So there was somewhere a couple of 100,000 people that could have applied up until the program was ended. And now we're, as you said, in the situation where DACA has ended, and we have in New York City 10,000 people that may no longer be able to work legally.
We've heard a lot about DACA. People have heard the president decides to end DACA, but you know, we're an informational show here, so please do us some justice here. For those people who may not be familiar with DACA, exactly what does DACA mean and what does it cover?
Sure. It was a program started by President Obama, and a lot of people misunderstood it, thought it was a new law. It wasn't a law. It was very simple procedural change that allowed people to apply affirmatively without being in court, which was the old procedure, and for a very special group could apply affirmatively. Individuals who could prove they entered the United States before the age of 16, who entered before June 15th, 2007. So you're talking about individuals who came here as very young children and grew up here. He allowed them to apply for work permits with proof, as I said, that they had been here, there was no criminal issues, that they had met certain educational requirements. So you're talking about, as I said, individuals that grew up here and just wanted to finish high school, go to college, get a job.
And when we talk about those numbers, numbers have been said anywhere from 800,000 to probably 1 million people fall under DACA right now. What are the protections that are available for people?
Well, DACA allowed protection from removal from the United States, and even in that case, it was not absolute. If someone had some sort of criminal conviction, they'd still be eligible to, they'd still be removable as having a criminal offense. So it really was just for law-abiding individuals that were looking to get a job and earn an honest living. people you'd see in any school, any university, on the street, working any normal job right next to anyone else.
And since the president has made this decision, obviously a lot of controversy, a lot of people have been speaking out.
Yes.
What's it been like for you at the office since the president's made the announcement?
Well, very hectic, as you can imagine. A lot of people reaching out for information. Very disappointing. We sort of, who were in sort of the industry, got the news a little bit ahead of everyone else. We got it over the weekend that the announcement would be made Tuesday, which was very disappointing. And we're just scrambling now to try to do our best to help anyone we can while there is still some opportunity to do so.
And we talk about opportunity to do so, and for people who want to know right now, there are some things that can actually happen to help you out if you fall under a certain criteria. And so that's why Arturo's here, because I can't break it all down for you. He's going to break it all down for you to let you know exactly how you might be able to receive assistance if you fall under DACA and if you fall within a certain criteria and time frame, correct?
Correct. So the program is not set to end until March 5th. And to break it down even further, what that means is if your work authorization expires on or before March 5th, you are eligible to renew your work authorization, and it'll be good for 2 years. So there's still 2 years that you can be authorized to work here. Problem is that application has to be received by immigration before October 5th. If it's received after that, they will not process it.
So then you have to make sure that you have it before October 5th, technically.
It's
And
shipped to immigration before October 5th. They have to have it in their mailroom.
Before October 5th. And then also the deadline is March.
That will mean that the program will end. So anyone who hasn't renewed or who would have applied for the first time will then no longer be eligible for the status.
So talk about the immigrant community in all of this, because they played an important part during President Obama's administration of pleading their case and being able to get DACA. Talk to us about the immigrant community and their voice in this, because it's a very strong voice.
It is, and they've been very active. There's been a lot of demonstrations from the immigrant community, a lot of assistance with organizing by non-for-profit centers like BronxWorks, and they've been very active, and all we can do is encourage them to continue to be active and reach out to their elected officials and let them know that that they are against, that they're very disappointed by, that they have a problem with anything they can do to let them know that they want DACA to continue.
Yeah, well, right now the fate of DACA rests within the the United States Congress, and they will get the final determination as to what will happen with DACA. So we're asking as many people, if you are in favor of it, to contact your elected officials, speak out, let somebody know what's your thought and in your position on this, because there still is some time. The president has an executive order, but that executive order also rises to the place where now it will go before Congress, and Congress will have the final say as to whether or not DACA will be totally repealed or whether or not there'll be some repeal and replace. We've seen this happen with the Affordable Care Act that came out of the Obama administration, but now DACA is coming front and center. And it seems as though for those who are in the immigrant community, it's still time on the clock, if you will, to still get their voice heard. Are we seeing more and more people actually stepping up to the microphone? Because now what I did do is we did a couple of stories, and there's some immigrants who are saying because of the president's made this decision, they've already started with fear and trepidation and they don't want to speak out. Are we finding more people speaking out, or some people starting to retract and just fall back?
I have to say it's both. There are people that are speaking out. There were people that spoke out the day that the announcements were made, but we have encountered also a lot of people who in the community who are afraid because they feel that they're being unfairly targeted. And what I would say to those individuals is to do a little research. There's a lot of centers here in New York that provide free services, and come in for a consultation, speak to somebody so you can have a real clear understanding of what the law is, what's going on, how it affects you, what you may or may not qualify for.
All right, continue our conversation with Arturo Lopez in just a few minutes, talking about DACA and the current immigration status. We'll be right back. Stay with us. We'll come right back in a few.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
And we're back here on Perspectives, continuing our conversation, talking about President Trump's decision to end DACA. What does that mean for immigrants in New York City, particularly right here in the borough of the Bronx? We've got Arturo Lopez, who is our guest in studio, immigration attorney and lead immigration attorney over there at BronxWorks, helping us out and giving us some clarity as to what's going on. We gave you a little bit more of some information before the break about letting you know how you can get in. If you fit within a certain timeline, DACA can still be extended to you, and hopefully we can get the message out, because October 5th is right around the corner.
It is. It's very close, and that is why we're having an event at BronxWorks. Normally we are work by appointment only, and we have a bit of a wait, as you know, with anything that provides free services. But I want to make sure to get the word out to the community that on Monday, October 25th, our doors will be open at our office at 1130 Grand Concourse.
October 25th or October 5th?
No, I'm sorry. September 25th.
Okay.
September 25th. Monday, September 25th, our doors will be open. Anyone that has DACA status or has any questions about DACA, if you qualify to apply, if you're not sure, you should come in. If you qualify on that day, Monday, September 25th, we will help you prepare that application and get it ready for submission to immigration so that they can receive it before October 5th. Hopefully those permits will then all be approved and those work authorizations will be issued for 2 years.
And hopefully that can be enough to cover until we actually sort this out.
We want to try to process as many as possible to make sure we can help as many people as possible stay in status.
Now, I know you're the attorney, but talk to us about your advocacy. Have you been advocating with elected officials yourself?
We've been trying. We're in contact with elected officials, letting them know how we are continuing to support and care for our community and continuing to help them stay safe. We're very well known with the elected officials, and so hopefully they will take that information and take it into account when making their decisions and when communicating with their fellow governing officials and try to use as much influence as possible to protect the communities here in the Bronx.
Talk about your conversations with those immigrants who have been affected by DACA. What's that conversation been like? And I mean, of course, there's attorney-client confidentiality, but you can certainly share a little bit more about the sentiments and what's been going on through their mind.
You know, I don't think it takes a lot to imagine what that conversation's like. Imagine speaking to any young person and saying, you have to go somewhere else, any young person, and them saying, but all I've ever known is this country. You know, and you might say, well, they know they're not from here, but they don't really know they're not from here. They've grown up here. And so you can imagine how difficult those conversations are and how difficult it is to see that community suffering.
And a lot of people are being adversely affected by this move by the president to end DACA. And as I said, the matter still remains before Congress, and they will get the final determining factor as to what goes on with DACA. We talked about the immigrant community, the role that they've played in advocating and really getting DACA through the Obama administration. But talk to us about the immigrant community now. What's this going to do pretty much to the community if this goes through?
It'll have a devastating effect. And also, I would say that just everyone in the community should be speaking out against this, because there are rumors that there will be more to come, that there will be other individuals in different types of statuses that will be affected. So it's not just the DACA community that should be speaking out, it's the entire immigrant community and the entire Bronx community, because I think if you see how unfairly this community is being treated and how that's liable to keep expanding, who knows what effects that could have on the Bronx in the future.
Yeah, you led into my next question, because we knew that DACA was possibly going to occur. Not possibly, definitely going to occur, because when President Trump was running, he did talk about ending DACA. So this doesn't really come as a surprise to some, because this is what he promised on the campaign trail. However, I think there's a lot of concern on the part of others about future things to come. That it starts with DACA and it moves forward and it goes into other areas. And what are you hearing?
The most immediate concern after DACA is a status called TPS, Temporary Protected Status, for individuals from countries that have been war-torn, ravaged by natural disasters like Haiti, like Central America, where people simply cannot return to their countries because it is in a state where they would simply not be able to survive. They were allowed to stay here and work. Similar to DACA, they were issued work permits. Some of these individuals have been here for 20 years. And just like DACA, when we started to hear rumors that it was going to be ended, now that DACA has been ended, we're starting to hear these rumors that these other statuses will also be terminated and individuals will not be able to be eligible for these work identifications.
Arturo Lopez is our guest in studio, talking about President Trump's decision to end DACA, as well as the current immigration status. Stay with us. We got more show. Arturo, give us some final thoughts when we return right after this.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Behold, the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant.
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Back on Perspectives, our guest in the studio, Arturo Lopez, immigration attorney at BronxWorks, helping to sort out some of the confusion and also bring some clarity with the regards to DACA, President Trump's recent decision to end DACA, and there's still some time on the clock. It still remains before Congress, but in addition to remaining before Congress, even right now, if you have the opportunity to get in before the deadline, you might be able to get extended for another couple of years, and Arturo and his groups are working to make sure that people are well informed. And once again, let's get that information out there to the public about what's coming up on September 25th.
Sure. Well, our organization is BronxWorks. You can find all our information on our website. But our DACA event is on Monday, September 25th from 10 to 4, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you have DACA and are eligible to renew, come in. Even if you have DACA and have any questions or not sure, come in and speak to an attorney about what we can do to help you.
How complex has this been for you as an attorney, given the fact that things seemed like things were kind of like on easy street, talking to some other attorneys. They said things were kind of like on easy street until then. Had an inkling that this possibly could happen,
right.
But once it happened, it just like turned up the jets for you guys in a new kind of way, huh?
Right. Well, when it was first enacted, we thought things were great, and we never thought someone who is this unpredictable would be elected, and we even conservative Republicans, it was not believed that they would end the status. So it was very surprising when it was ended by the current president, and we're not quite sure where things are going to go from here. We're just trying to keep up on everything that's going on, and that's not always coming from the law. Sometimes it's coming from the news and inside sources who can tell us what's being spoken about, so we can sort of guess and try to prepare before the official announcements are made.
What are some of the things that we're hearing from those people who have definitely work inside? I mean, you got some boots on the ground.
Right.
Are they saying, listen, just be patient, it's going to be a long process, or are they saying prepare for the worst?
It's mixed news. Some people are trying to enact new laws, new programs that will stay in place and protect individuals. Other sources are telling us that, that, as I said, that this temporary protective status may be next, and that it'll just be done away with. And then there's some other complex conversations that we're hearing about that we're worried about, maybe too in depth to talk about now. But it's, as I said, this administration is unpredictable, and we're just not sure exactly what's going to happen next.
Yeah, it's a big topic of discussion, immigration, and prior to DACA, immigration has been a big topic of discussion. And I want to ask that you, before we get out of here, share a little bit about some of the other things that you do, because DACA is at the main forefront right now, but what are some of the other services that you got?
Well, we assist with citizenship applications, family petitions. We also assist with U visas for individuals that have been victims of crimes. So, as I said, if you have DACA status and you're not sure what's going on, you should still come in, because we will screen you for possible eligibility for other types of immigration benefits, and hopefully we can help as many people as we can before any deadlines, and we're going to continue even after the deadlines, so don't be scared to call in the future.
So if people want to come through, what do they do? What do they have to have? What do they have to know?
In general, our information is on our website, BronxWorks, but for the day, the DACA event, bring in your work ID, passport photos, information on your address, and we will help prepare that application. There is a fee. Our services are free, but you would have to pay what immigration is going to charge to process that paperwork.
All righty, Arturo Lopez, our guest. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us, giving us the information that we need to know about DACA and immigration. And certainly we want you to stay connected to us here at Perspectives, because we're going to give you the latest. Now, as we said, when it comes to DACA, yes, the president has issued an executive order, but where it currently stands right now is it must go before Congress, and Congress must vote on that. And based on what Congress votes, that will be the final say. Well, it should be part of the final say, but as you know, in the world of politics, things can change in a matter of a moment. But the final say right now definitely rests in the hands of Congress. If you want more information and you know anybody that's affected or connected by DACA, we encourage you to get connected to BronxWorks, talk to the people at the immigration office, see whether or not your status can possibly be extended for 2 years, and if not, what you can do to be able to possibly prolong and or be informed about this process. But definitely we want to let you know that there are some options that are available on the table. Stay tuned to us here at Perspectives. We'll give you the necessary information that you need, plus bring you the people so that you can get an answer as to what is going on. So listen, thank you all for joining us here on Perspectives. I'm Daren Jaime. For all of us here on the set of the show, we thank you for watching. Until the next time we meet, stay safe and share your perspective with somebody else. It just might make a difference in somebody else's life. Take care.
Let them know.
What's on your mind?
Let them know. Anything relevant to life, you bring it to the table. Whether you make a move solo or a movement with a stable. No fables, you speak on your decisions. Cause in the long run, it's your voice, your views, your vision. Keeping it real with many messages for you to know. This ain't radio, but DJ runs the show. Entertainment, he rocks it. Politics, he locks it. The host with the most would handle any topic. Don't forget to share.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.